Brilliant shout. That is up there with Brexit.
Hello and welcome to Football Internet. I'm Liam and this is Harry. How are you today, mate?
I'm doing great. Today we're discussing Felipe Coutinho's transfer to Barcelona.
Yeah, 142 million for the little Brazilian, and we're going to talk about if we think he's value for money. Transition. The rumours have been flying around since early the 2017 summer, but finally Coutinho's completed his transfer to Barcelona. What do you think of it, Harry?
I think it's a lot of money to pay for someone who he has had a couple of decent seasons in the Premier League, but it is a lot of money considering his replacement Salah was just 30 odd million, like a quarter of the price. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, well, when you think about it, Coutinho, I think, has been brought into Barcelona to sort of slowly edge Iniesta out of that side, because at the moment Iniesta is still crucial to what they do. And I think Coutinho's been put in there so that Iniesta can be rested for a few games. Obviously Coutinho can't play in the Champions League, so Iniesta, it looks like, will be rested for the La Liga games and put into the Champions League ones, which obviously makes sense because Iniesta's aging, etc. But really, you look out on the market and I think there was better alternatives to Coutinho that you probably could have got for less. I think they turned down Verratti for something like 90 million. And I know he was sent off in that game versus Real Madrid, but he was running that game and he looked so much like a Barcelona player. You'd expect that he probably would have been a more astute signing. But there are plus sides to Coutinho. Obviously, we all know what he can do attacking wise. He's great on the ball. He'll shoot all the time, but once or twice it will go in and it will look amazing. And I don't know. I do think it's a necessary move, but I think Barcelona could have been smarter about it.
Yeah, well, in comparison, Liverpool have been negatively affected because obviously Coutinho had a brilliant 10-15 games for them in the middle of the season, but Salah seems to be replacing him very well. He's joint top scorer in the Premier League. He's really a lot better than he was at Chelsea, and it's surprising really how good Salah's doing, but yeah. I think he's replaced Coutinho very well.
I think that's the main thing. I think Salah's been very surprising because I think, well, from what I saw anyway, a lot of people thought 35 million for someone who was, rejected by Chelsea. He had a great season at Roma, but I think the typical English football fan thought, if Italian football is not what it used to be, blah blah blah. Yeah. But I think him playing off of Roberto Firmino, who I think is probably the most important player in that Liverpool team, and Mane, the way they interchange and the sort of telepathic understanding they seem to have with each other, I think that means that Coutinho obviously is going to be a blow because he did make that team tick, especially when going forward. But I don't think he was the be-all and end-all of the Liverpool attacking juggernaut.
Yeah, they've scored something ridiculous, like 66 goals between them this season. Yeah. But this doesn't just affect Liverpool and Barca, it does also affect the transfer market.
Yeah.
Because 142 million is a lot of money, and that will increase loads of players' prices. Salah, Hazard, players like that.
That's it. If Hazard is going to go to Real Madrid, like it's been reported pretty widely, then Chelsea will say, hold on, if Liverpool got 142 million or whatever it was for Coutinho, Hazard's been putting up better numbers than him for years in arguably a less attacking team.
Yeah.
So you got to remember that as well. Coutinho may have good numbers in terms of goals and assists, but he is in a team that's built on pure attacking. And when you compare him to someone like Hazard, who played under a Mourinho system, and Conte isn't known for being, all guns blazing like Klopp is. So you'd think that Hazard would be worth sort of 200 million if Coutinho's worth 142.
Yeah, this also affects Coutinho's another player to go from the Premier League to Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Yeah.
It's slightly annoying as a Premier League fan to see it, but
you can understand it, can't you? Especially with the South Americans, because they'll grow up in places like Brazil and Uruguay, and they'll see the likes of Messi and Maradona and etc. Ronaldo all playing for these like super clubs in Real Madrid and Barcelona, and that will be their dream from when they first kick a ball at sort of 5-6 years old. So you can't really blame them, it's just frustrating, and I think that's what people like Man City are trying to combat against.
Yeah. I
think they're trying to be, for that next wave of players, I think they want to be sort of at the pinnacle of world football, so that in 10 years time you know, Guardiola, if he's still at Man City, you can say, oh, him at Barcelona, he's doing great in their midfield. Like Arthur, they just signed Arthur from Premier, or he'll join them in the summer. You never know, 5 years time, if Man City have won the last couple Champions Leagues and they've still got Guardiola, you might be able to go on Arthur. And because they've got that pulling power and that Arabian oil money, they can take him off their hands. But it just follows the pattern of, you know, CR7, Ronaldo, the original Ronaldo going from Inter to Real Madrid, Suarez, Bale, Modric. You know, it seems like every Premier League superstar ends up at Barcelona or Real Madrid.
Yeah.
And like you say, it is frustrating, and I'm sure the likes of Daniel Levy and Ed Woodward, it's always in the back of their minds that they could lose their star man to one of these super clubs. But that's just, I don't know.
I think it is starting to get better, because Pogba obviously chose United over Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Obviously Man City spent big in the summer, got loads of players which Real Madrid were probably targeting.
Or you look at the likes of Benjamin Mendy, I mean,
Exactly.
but Marcelo's been aging for a couple of years now, and you'd think Mendy would make a brilliant replacement, because when up until that ACL injury he was on fire. And yeah, and I think you've got to remember as well, agents have a lot to play in this. And if a major agent, say, what was Pogba's agent? Mino Raiola. If Mino Raiola falls out with Florentino Perez at Real Madrid, chances are you won't see any of his clients go to Madrid anytime soon. But there's a lot of factors, and I think the times are changing slowly. But Coutinho's followed the trend, and you can't really blame him. I think all Liverpool fans knew this was on the cards pretty much the whole time. And I think that's where, like I say, the South American side of things, that's where he's different to the likes of Eriksen, because you think Eriksen fits the Barcelona mould, but you know, he grew up in Denmark. I doubt he was idolising. Like everyone idolises Barcelona to a certain extent, don't they? But not in the same way they do, you know, in living on the streets of Brazil. So.
Yeah, because Barcelona got loads of Brazilian, well, they've had loads of Brazilian players. Dani Alves, they got Paulinho, and it just seems a better fit for Coutinho.
Yeah, and you think when Coutinho was young, he was probably hearing about Ronaldo in that season at Barcelona scoring 40 goals. And you know, he probably idolised him, and Ronaldinho was probably the overriding factor.
Exactly. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay guys, that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Visit the website for more videos, and yeah, we'll see you later.